Hello and welcome back to Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak on Steam, where today, hopefully I'll be able to get through at least one full quest. I have had a chat with my ISP, had a bunch of settings tweaked, even upgraded my service plan. So hopefully, things will actually work now and won't mess up partway through the stream. I have no way of telling if they will or won't until it happens. Let's hope it doesn't happen. Also, hey, Wolfkinson. Would have started with the rare species bonanza thing, but considering that's what I did in the last stream, I'm sure I didn't finish it, but it's what I did. And I don't want to repeat it right away. So this quest we know is for a large crown Crimson Globe Valstrax, so that one is not surprising to see. I do like seeing that monkey right there. The special wire bug here is yellow, not red. Would have been nicer if it was red, because then we could get a really strong monkey opener that I need to sharpen. I mean, I don't need to, but it helps. Now to take this monkey to say hello to a comet. It's just really hard to beat the amount of damage you can get on a monster using a Furious Rajan. Very clear just how dead element damage gets on Crimson Globe Valstrax after it enters rage. Like, we were doing solid 130 per file pop on this thing before it enraged, but then after it enraged, we're dropping down to in the 30s, losing 100 damage per file pop. I prefer not to be lasered, thank you. Hey, guard. I am doing well, and I hope you are too. Not quite get out of there. Are you I had pressed the dodge button earlier and didn't get a roll out of it. It hit my mind like, oh, am I out of stamina? But I wasn't. I wonder what that was. Because if I had gotten 2 dodges instead of 1, I would not have been within range of that explosion that just took me out. Not often that you're playing this game and press the dodge button but don't get a dodge out of it. Yep. Yeah, I can ignore the sparklies. We'll probably end up back there at some point, and even if we don't, it's not like I need his parts. Crab party. That's part about a crab party. They help you get amped quicker. Yeah, Wolfkinson, Valstrax's front legs do still take full element damage when he's all glowy. Problem is, if I try and zero-sum his legs, the damage actually goes to his chest. Which basically means just I'm losing tons of damage if I zero-sum him while he's in this mode, which is unfortunate. In a while since I've seen a non-risen Crimson Valstrax do an ambush. I do love Crimson Glow, or Risen Crimson Glow Valstrax's ambush. It's great. I do wish it still zoomed around in the sky instead of sitting still in one spot. Wow, really? He tried inhaling again immediately after the knockdown from when he was trying to inhale last. You gonna do it a third time? You are! Are you some kind of idiot? Well, he actually succeeded that time. But getting 2 inhale knockdowns in a row, that's something. Hey, Kurama, it's worked out for now. We won't know for sure, considering that the issue that has been plaguing me has appeared anywhere between 10 minutes and 2 hours into any given stream, so still got some time left before we can say for sure that the stream is going to function properly. But for now, it seems to be. cat. Nice miss. Somebody didn't stay out of rage long. Breaks we have left, and we are not likely to get them because Crimson Glow Valstrax's wings are just surprisingly difficult to break to begin with. Like, they take a lot of... you need to do a lot of damage to them in order to even get the break. Not to mention they're usually so high up that they're difficult to reach for a switch axe. Well, we actually get to grab these sparklies. And they were indeed not worth going back for. Dang it. If I had gotten the wake up with an explosion on the wing, we might have been able to get a break, but even then, it would have been a little suspect. Because again, these wings take a lot of effort to actually break. This is actually one of the few monsters in the game where, even with Part Breaker 3, it can be difficult to get all the breaks just because of the amount of damage required for everything. So this quest was just for a crown that I already had. Here's the quest that I didn't get to actually complete, or actually, I guess I started it on my end, but didn't realize until after the fact that the stream cut out before I went on the quest. But yeah, 2 streams ago, this was the quest that was the end of things. And I'm going to bring a lightning weapon because Juratotus, it's really a crapshoot whether water or lightning is going to end up being better over the course of a hunt. It depends on how many times it decides to reapply its mud. Also, the quest is interesting. You need to beat 1 Juratotus, but there are 3 of them. 1 is gold small, 1 is gold large, 1 is pure average. Actually, I guess it's slightly bigger than average looking at the numbers there, but we are going to go for the big one on the assumption that this might be like the Street Fighter quest that had 2 Rajangs and you only had to kill 1. And the big one was the tough one. Fish anyway, but at the very least, the big one will have the most health because that's what size does to a monster. Way to get out of the fish. Not getting his mud back on his face. To try and break the tail before he can get mud back on that. And mission failed. Yeah, it's almost entirely up to the fish whether going in with water or lightning would be better. You can out-aggro the fish's cowardice, then sure, lightning better all the time, but sometimes you'll get a Juratotus that basically never tries to reapply its mud. Sometimes you'll get one that basically every third move tries to reapply its mud. Yeah, guard, I haven't done any special investigations. It's going to be a while before I can. I know that the monsters have new moves and stuff. I am interested in doing them at some point. I know that you get a marker in your hunter's notes for each monster that you've beaten in a special investigation. But, as long as you don't talk about the new moves they get, I guess it's fine. Going for event quest check marks right now. I will be going back to the grind when I'm done getting all of the ones that exist right now. And hopefully, I will be done grinding by the time they are done adding event quests. And honestly, I might just use a mod to cheat the grind. I have yet to touch any of the one-hit kill mods, but I figure if I'm just using it to skip a grind, especially when I'm not getting any new gear or anything out of it, as long as I don't use it to do the actual content that the grind unlocks, it's just a pure time savings for the sake of my viewers. Ideally, I would manage to explode a leg with this. I don't know how feasible that is. I don't think I've ever seen a Juratotus leg break. I know they exist. I don't know that I have seen them. But this big boy seems the most likely place to get one. Also, it'd probably be easier if I was using a weapon that didn't have quite the same reach that a switch axe did. Like, if I was using dual blades, getting a leg break on this particular fish would probably be at least a little easier given the size. No leg breaks today either. Yes, guard, I did just get an out-of-the-sky kill on a Juratotus. knocked it out of the water with an attack, and then the file pop that followed killed it. It's not often that you get out of the sky kills on non-flying monsters. Yeah, let's go cool the caverns. Incidentally, I think this Velkhana might also be one of the quests that my stream crapped out on. At least I feel like it was. Silver Large. And also a Silver Large monkey. Wow, Velkhana doing a sit. Don't think I've ever seen that before. Bring back Elder Dragons being passive and not caring about you until you do something to them. Please, Capcom. Heck, bring back, like, all monsters not caring about you at least for a little bit. Except for the ones that are canonically super aggressive. Hey, Outlander. And yeah, it'll be nice if I actually manage to get through a whole stream again today. It's been a while since I last did. But, I mean, we're already more than one quest in, which is more than I got yesterday. This theme is so good. Like, Monster Hunter Rise has some good music, don't get me wrong, but I can't help but feel like it was the right call for them to just reuse Velkhana's Iceborne theme. Because it was so good! Kinda wish they had also reused Rajang's Iceborne theme, but what are you gonna do? On the subject of Rajang's Iceborne theme, Capcom, where is the bonus soundtrack for Monster Hunter World Iceborne? You did one for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. Or, not Sunbreak, but for Monster Hunter Rise. Or something. Maybe it was Sunbreak. One of these games, you did the bonus... Yeah, I think it was Rise. You did the bonus soundtrack for all the music that was added to the game after launch. Do it for Iceborne, please! There's some music that it is criminal that we do not have any avenues to get on a CD or streaming service legally. Seriously, give me the Raging Bracky theme. Give me the Safi Jiva theme. Give me the freaking Iceborne Fatalis theme, please. Kurama, I could care less if they put the soundtracks on vinyl. The thing about vinyl, like, yes, it adds character to the sound. It does not add quality. And what I want is to just have a high-quality audio file that is legal for all of the Iceborne post-launch music, which they have yet to make available via any legal means. Like, if I wanted to be able to, at will, listen to, say, the Iceborne Rajang theme, or the Raging Bracky theme, the best legal options to do that right now are launch Iceborne, go to your room, and play it on the jukebox. And that's just... no. When they did an extra soundtrack for one of the Rise games that had all of the post-launch music for that... yeah, that had to be Bass Fighter, yeah. But they did that! Do it for Iceborne, please! It's well past time. Hi, monkey. Give me a sec here. Okay, monkey, your services are now requested. He's going for a cat. Monkey, please, just let me hop on you. Shouldn't take a Velcana to let me get on you. Okay, I guess we are not getting on that monkey. I was going to use him for an easy knockdown to try and do more work on this very high up and difficult to reach tail. But it seems monkey does not wish to be used for that purpose. There we go. Certainly not. Nope, never mind. We are getting the wing break. We don't have the AT Velcana theme on a CD or anything yet. It's criminal. Criminal, Capcom. Do you hear me? They don't put the Monster Hunter... if they don't put the Iceborne versions of all the stuff that was added post-launch in Iceborne onto a CD and other digital platforms as part of the Monster Hunter 6 soundtrack, I am going to be very disappointed. Because, like, they have done that before. Like, Dire Mirrorless's theme. That was not available until they released the Monster Hunter 4 soundtrack. So, like, I guess they could. But the fact that they did the bonus soundtrack thing for Rise... Why not do it for Iceborne? Why not? Well, let's see how we cry here. Cry 1. Oh, even drawing in the sand. How very sad. We're going into a loop. Try 2? More of a tantrum. Well, I guess it's time to go get an ice weapon. Yeah, Outlander, our character does get very, very sad for that first one. You know, it's interesting. There are very few monsters in the Monster Hunter series, actually, that are capable of roar stuns but do not say hello with an actual roar. It's surprising that Zinogre is one of them. Things they need to improve about zero-sum discharge. Where the damage is dealt when latched onto certain parts. And how the game decides which part you're going to latch onto. Like, there's Crimson Glow Valstrax, where if you zero-sum his arms, you're actually doing damage to his chest. And then, like what we just saw, where I basically stabbed into his tail for the zero-sum and yet ended up on an arm. And then there's things like Barioth, where if you are zero-summing the tail, you don't even latch on to the part that you need to do cut damage to cut. Like, you're on the tail, but you're too close to the body to actually do damage towards the tail cut. But then again, the damage being dealt to a part that you're not latched onto thing was actually very helpful against Iceborne's Furious Rajang. Because that guy, if you were latched onto his arms, you dealt your damage to his head. His head is what you needed to do damage to get him out of rage. So for Furious Rajang and Iceborne, it was actually quite helpful that the damage was not localized to the part that you were actually on. Seems this Astalos was not done with that Zinogre. Whatever, we were going for Zinogre first. Let's keep going for him. Yep, Astalos still not done with him. Ogre doesn't want to hang out with Astalos, and Astalos very much wants to hang out with us. So I guess I'll stick with Astalos. Astalos is just big enough that it's annoying to go for the tail. Like, if I wanted to do max damage, I wouldn't be going for the tail to begin with, but I like cutting tails. I don't have to go for it anymore. Now, I really like how creative they got with how to handle electric monsters dealing with their electricity. Like, there's a lot of different biological strategies employed with their use of electricity and generation of it and all of that. Like, we've got Astalos, who uses piezoelectricity to actually, like, vibrates things to generate an electric charge. And that is neat. We've got Zinogre, who relies on an outside source of electricity, a completely separate creature that it's in symbiosis with. That's neat. We've got Kezu, who actually does generate electricity internally, but to use it has to ground itself. That's neat. We've got Legiacrus, who generates electricity in an organ that is semi-external and in contact, usually, with water that conducts the electricity away from it. That's neat. I wish we saw that level of creativity with other monsters and their elements, but, like, I get why we don't have to. Because the other elements aren't nearly as dangerous to the monster itself. But, like, it'd be neat if we saw more methods of monsters having, like, fire element other than most of them being just, oh yeah, they've just got a fire sack. Like, there are a few that are different, but most of them it's just, yeah, fire sack, done. Kurapeko comes to mind as a great example of a difference for fire element monsters. Astalos is not a quiet sleeper. This isn't gonna hit. Or yes, it is. Yeah, guard, being able to actually go for back breaks specifically would be very nice to get back. Like, honestly, I think World had it fine. World and Gen 4 as a whole. Where you just get a mount, and then the back break can happen easily. Like, yeah, World, you had to sit on the back and let the monster bonk you. But, I mean, it's not too hard to accomplish. And then in Gen 4, it was just, hey, do the ride. All of the mount finish damage goes to the back. That was also an easy way to handle it. Gen 4 and World and Iceborne had nice back breaks. They were easy to get, but they still took at least some effort. Whereas in Rise, it's most weapons have to deal with the whole, well, I can get the back break if I specifically target this one hit zone on the chest that counts as the back. And otherwise, it's up to the gunners. Good, now that that tail's off, I don't have to go for such a trash hit zone. I mean, if you're just gonna hang out over there while I carve this. It was a trick! It was baited. Wow. Would have been a little nicer if that was a pit trap, but whatever. I don't think can put down pit traps, at least not without relying on the lottery box, but I don't think that can even result in a pit trap. Hey look, I got the back. Which means that right claw is all that remains. How wide my swings are, I don't know that I'm going to actually get it. It's difficult to specifically target. I can at least try. Yep, no right claw for me. Jagras, please. Jagras, please. If they had stopped me from carving one more time, I would have flashed those stupid lizards. I do appreciate when in games without subspecies, they make the main species behave at least a little more like the subspecies. That is true. But honestly, I think I'd rather have the main species be as they were and give us the subspecies. Mainly because that way we get more gearing options. And also, I'm just always a fan of quests that have both a main and subspecies of the same monster. Because then you get to really see the contrast between the two. Especially for monsters where the subspecies is significantly different. It's a lot of fun. I like those quests. Do it, cat. The Rajan put his face directly in the Kittenator. Face scarf. pray tell, is a face scarf? Ah. I wouldn't call this a face scarf, though. Just like maybe a bandana mask? You know what? It's time to give this another shot. Just so that I don't have to worry quite so much about needing to blind the Rathalos to carve the Rathian. And she's gold large again. That has me sincerely thinking that this quest is all about large subspecies. Or, not subspecies, rare species. Like, the quest doesn't say anything about them being crown-sized. It just says that they're rare. And yet, both times I've gone on this quest, the gold Rathian has been gold large. Outlander, the music I have playing in town is the Arena Themes 8-bit version. Or chiptune version, rather. Chiptune version of the Arena theme. That's what it is. I said you sharpen before coming in here. I'm supposed to do that. Silver Rathalos is also, once again, gold large. And that's the first damage I've taken this entire quest. Turns out, Gold Rathian may be gold, but she is still Rathian. Okay, lady, I need you over here. There we go. And I guess since he is mountable, might as well. Don't want to use those on him. There are better rare species to use the bugs on in this quest. Great timing for the era. Would love to get it when I had a water weapon. But then again, Thunder is okay against Silverlos. It's not ideal, but it works. Maybe I should just use the Thunder weapon. It is his secondary weakness, and that way I only have to use weapons once. Yeah, Outlander, I am with you. Gold Rathian was the harder one in Iceborne, but yeah, in this game, she functions mostly like a standard Rathian until she enters Hellfire mode. Meanwhile, Silver Rathalos got a whole bunch of new stuff that he didn't have before. Floor here. Zero sum this squishy face. At least would have been able to had you not walled me. He was trying to do his big thing. I do appreciate that this quest is one where they actually let more than one monster spawn in at once. Normally, quests that have a whole bunch of things as dangerous as rare species do not do that. Narga being gold crowned again. Yeah, this quest is all gold crowns, isn't it? Haven't gotten any gold smalls, which means it's not likely that gold smalls are even an option. Ideally, I would like this Narga to go unmounted until the Mizutsune shows up. Means I need this Rathalos dead fast. There we go. Oh, and I am out of flashes, which means I am reliant on the Nargacuga's good graces to get my carves. Are you serious? I was carving for so long and I didn't even get anything out of that one? Cool, a regular Rathalos mantle. I wish you could cancel a carving animation into a dodge. That would be nice. For situations like exactly that one. Nargacuga, please. I just want to get one more card. Just one. There we go. And let's get another Trap and Tranks so that we won't have to worry about carving the Narga while the Mizutsune's around. I don't need to use a Demon Drug or anything. Those are still up. Okay, Narga, it's your turn. I do like how it's basically just 1 0-sum to break a wing when you've got Part Breaker 3 and as many damage skills as I've got. Makes 2 knockdowns very easy to get. It's jumpy time! I got hit by the air around the tip of the tail. And it barely did it. That's right, it does multiple slams. I almost dodged into that. Bringing back memories of 3U. Ow. I don't know that I've ever gotten hit by that spin while not 0-summing it before. I do know that... Okay, gold large Violet Mizutsune as well. If this was just gold crowns and not specifically gold large, I would have expected to see at least one among the 7 monsters I have seen in this quest before. But no, we are still at just large crowns for all these monsters. Now, I'm gonna actually hang out with this Mizutsune a bit. Ow. Actually, wait, no, I should be hanging out with the Narga so the Mizutsune makes it mountable. So, ideally, we'd actually get both of these mountable to use against one another. Okay, there's our Narga mount. Heck of a slap. I don't know that I've ever used a Lucent Narga as a mount before. It's pretty solid. Really? The mounted Punisher is jumpy time. And now we get the Mizutsune. And just barely kept myself from getting frenzied there. That is a cap-ready Narga. Get 2 spiders. Seriously, jumpy time. Okay. That was the wrong item. Wanted trank bombs, not Farcaster. I was worried that I had gotten the Mizutsune in the trap, but should have been worried about something else, huh? This again. There we go. And now the Mizutsune can get our undivided attention. Excuse you, I just turned those icy. Well, that didn't go exactly as planned. hitboxes from those bubbles linger a little too long. Hey, the bugs stayed icy. Dang it, they turned fiery. Still haven't mounted this. Nice to get a mount just for the free damage and knockdown. Cap ready already? Could, but I don't wanna. He explodes. Dodging in does not just dodge a roar. There is an explosion that also needs to not be taken. No additional breaks. Oh well. This is a nice quest. I like it. I want more like it. I'm still disappointed that there's no Sunbreak title update monsters in the Infernal Springs quest. That would have been neat. But they're never going to do it because they're never going to have a quest with both Amatsu and another monster, because Amatsu is technically in a separate version of the Infernal Springs. It's not the same exact. Even though they totally could put other monsters there. They could. But they're never going to. Amatsu will never appear on a quest with any other monster. Yoga poses. Just 3, huh? Hey look, the dog's doing downward dog. And there are now but 7 quests for me to get check marks in. Also, there are more Lunagarans in event quests than there are any other monster. And that's kind of sad. Alright, later, guard. And it's going to be a gold small and a gold large, because that's how this game handles quests with 2 of the exact same monster. Which I do appreciate, but I also kind of don't. I like getting the crowns easily, but it also kind of cheapens them. If they had pushed it farther and made it especially small crown, and especially big crown, then I'd like it more. Give us tiny baby Lunagaran, not just little Lunagaran. Give me World Eater Lunagaran. Fought a Lunagarn in a long time. The big boy is also here. Taking some effort for me to tell myself that, hey, these damage numbers are really small. Well, that's not because Lunagaran is a terrible mount, it's because these Lunagarans don't have a whole lot of health. I've been fighting much higher tier monsters that have much more health. Mount damage is based on total health of target. It's percentage based. Hence this one being cap ready already. Yeah, these two, they're not as different size-wise, at least at the shoulder when they're on all fours. I imagine if they were both standing up, the size difference would be much more apparent. There's also the fact that when you're riding the one, it's, the camera zooms out, making it also harder to tell. Yeah, like this big one looks to be a good, almost half again as long, if not more, compared to the small one. So like, it's just a matter of seeing them where the size actually is more noticeable. Yeah, the thing about flying wyverns, where bigger sizes seem way bigger, is they've also got the wings. They've got more dimension to them to begin with. Whereas Lunagarin is a relatively svelte monster. It's not going to take up as much, like, horizontal space, no matter how big it gets. Whereas a flying wyvern, when that thing gets huge, its wingspan gets huge as well as its length. Which just creates an illusion that it's way bigger than it actually is. And then there's also the fact that flying wyverns tend to stand taller than a Lunagarin as well. Basically, the bigger a monster's dimensions are on average, the more increasing those dimensions will seem to increase its size, because, again, it's all percentage-based. And a larger percent of a larger base number is going to appear bigger than a larger percent of a smaller base number. So yeah. Smaller monsters will appear to be closer in size to one another than larger monsters, when percentage-wise they are the same difference from one another. Hamura pose set. Let's actually take a look at how different gold small and gold large Lunagarons are. So yeah, the gold large is almost half again as big as the small one. Almost. Right, hiccups. This is a Kamura pose. That's like the pose that Minoto has in the quest hub, isn't it? Is this supposed to be Fugen or Utsushi? Wow, only 2 poses. I guess Kamura doesn't have a whole lot of different poses, huh? I think this would be Utsushi with how close the legs are together. Haven't fought these folks in a while. Yeah, Magnum Hollow is fairly wide for a fanged, or well, fairly large for a fanged wyvern, but also he is very wide for a fanged wyvern, which results in gold large ones. Like, they scale with that width, which makes them just enormous. Baggy first, because it is the much bigger threat here. Even if they're both gold small. A gold small can still be a big threat. cat, please. Thank you. Freaking knocks down the baggie while I am still drowsy. Really wish I knew the exact range for this. That should do. Yep. Honestly, I should have carved the baggie while this thing was still sleeping. Well, only 2 baggie carves. Wow, that sure was one noisy Izuchi. Made entirely out of screamer sacks. If this was Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, I would have been thrilled about that. They're all gold small. I know this quest was supposed to have crowns, but I thought it was supposed to be like a mix. It's possible that it could, but in that case, we just hit a, I assume it's 50-50 whether they'd be gold or large, if it can be a mix. And that would mean we hit a 1 in 16 chance of getting all gold smalls. done either of these two in a while either. Oh, we definitely need insurance for this. That much is for sure. Both gold large. Outlander, I do like Kuliaku, but I think he can go ahead and miss a few games, honestly. Like, he was more interesting in World than he is in this game. Because, like, in World, he was basically the tutorial for how to use slinger pods to mess with a monster. Because if you messed with him using slinger pods, you could get him to drop his stuff early. Whereas in this game, if he picks up a rock, well, he's just got a rock and you have to deal with it, and it's annoying. Like, I love that Kuliaku's got personality, but he's too low tier of a monster to have a mode that makes fighting it annoying without any quick way to end it. Like, if they're not going to give us the ability to just, I guess maybe flashing will make it drop it, but if they're not giving us an easy out of rock mode, I'd rather have Great Macau. Okay, yeah, Flash definitely would have made him drop a rock. Also, they need to make his his arms easier to break in this game. As is, it's way too picky a hit zone. It was super easy to break them in World, but in this game it takes concentrated effort. My concentrated effort paid off. Kuliaku Bird Up is only appropriate in the Final Fantasy quest where it keeps getting bigger, where it actually birds up. Time for a toxic quest. Not toxic in, like, the bad way. Toxic in the way where the monsters are venomous. Now, I expect they'll both be around at the same time. But I guess we'll go for the Espionage first, and thus bring ice here. Oh, we got a wee Chameleos. And an almost silver large Espionage. Still kind of saddens me every time I go on an Espionage quest and the Espionage is awake. That's not how Espionage is supposed to be. He's supposed to be our sleepy boy. Yeah, going to GU for the first time immediately after World would definitely be a little rough. Though, with Rise being, at least flavor-wise, kind of like the middle ground between GU and World, maybe it would be more palatable after Rise. GU definitely has a lot of issues. It's not a perfect game. But, like, Gen 4 Monster Hunter is still good video games. While I really like GU. I like it a lot. I like the different hunting styles. I like some hunter runs. But yeah, it's a good game. I really like how very, very wide its roster is. Wish it had subspecies so it could be the biggest monster hunter. Well, it already is the biggest monster hunter game ever, but that it could be the biggest monster hunter game imaginable. If it had subspecies, that would be neat. And, well, let's just say GU's got a real issue with how it handles its deviants primarily. Just the way that in order to be able to post them yourself, you have to do them one by one in order. It's not ideal. But still, really good game. I like it. Moment-to-moment gameplay, I would say it is better than For You, and thus the best Gen 4 game. Overall package, I think For You probably wins. Though GU does have the distinction of having the best end boss of any Monster Hunter game. Tal Ka is fantastic. Though, admittedly, Gogmazios isn't that far behind. Well, Outlander, if you want to play GU without Hunter styles, there's a way to do that. You use the standard style, and you don't use your Hunter arts. It's an option. Oh, another thing GU really has going in its favor. The music that was added to the series in GU is, pretty much without exception, exceptional. And I just realized that I used exception and exceptional. But, like, GU has the best rendition of Proof of a Hero in the entire franchise, in my opinion. It's got the Valstrax theme. Like, GU specifically has incredible music. Generations also has pretty good music for what was added to the series with it, but, like, GU has it beat handily. I forget what the Striker style takes away from Lance, but or what else besides the finisher of the triple poke. But I'm pretty sure Striker style doesn't have that weird third poke. I just don't know what else it loses. So maybe try that. Or Alchemy style. I don't know what it loses there either, but all I know is I don't do weapons with shields pretty much ever. So, yeah, I wouldn't know if those ended up feeling different or wrong. You want me to be able to comment on weapons. It's basically switch axe and hammer I can always comment on. And sometimes in some games, Insect Glaive, and in GU specifically, Gen and GU, I can comment on Longsword, because that's what I mained in those games, just to be different. I mean, I mained Switch Axe in Cross and Double Cross. But I mained Longsword in Gen and GU. Specifically Adept Longsword, and then Valor Longsword. Which both feel very good. The fact that Valor Longsword had a counter on its... it had a guard point counter on its Spirit Slash opener. That felt really good. That was a parry. That's what it was. I often got myself in trouble trying to parry things that I really shouldn't. It's kind of interesting to think how, at least after some patches in Monster Hunter World, GU was left as the last Monster Hunter game to have fixed scaling for multiplayer quests. Like, if you are doing a quest in the hub in GU, it is scaled for 2 players, full stop. Whereas Base World, it was scaled for 1 if you were solo, 2 if you were with 2 people, or 4 if you were with 3 or more. Actually, I think it was still just... Right? Yeah, it was 4 players scaling, but it wasn't 4 times the health or anything, so it was more like 3.5, which made it so... no, I think it was actually just scaled for 3 if you had 3 or more players. But since you lost cats, bringing a 3rd player without bringing a 4th player was specifically a detriment to your combat ability. That's what it was. Interesting. And then in Iceborne, they made it so that 3 players actually scaled for 3 players instead of scaling for the same as 4 players. Leaving GU as the final Monster Hunter game to not scale multiplayer quests based on number of players present. So, we got 2 very similar quests, and 1 quest with a monster that we technically have not yet fought today. We fought Violet Mizutsune, but that is not Mizutsune. Well, I honestly should probably do the Monkey Magnamalo quest first, huh? Because then we can have something between them, so let's do that first, actually. We have fought a Furious Rajang already today, so let's do the non-Furious. Let's bring a water weapon. Water is extant against Rajang, right? Ooh, barely. I guess we're going for the Magnamalo first, then. Big monkey. And kinda big bagel. Yeah, GU does have a lot of really good maps in it. Like, and it's got the best versions of basically every map that's in the game. I think when it comes to old school map design, I still got to give it to 3U. 3U has the best old school maps in the franchise. Right, because Monkey is one of the quest targets. I can't just mount it easily. I could go get the puppet spider. Whatever. Thinking, oh, we're going to the Magnamalo. That makes the monkey a free mount. It is not. His mount is not free. Outlander, honestly, I don't know how Try compares to Dose. Everything I've heard about Dose sounds very unlike what I know about Try, having played it. But what's important to note is that while Try is good, it is a tiny, tiny game. Even if you have the now up and running in beta fan servers for the online going. Yeah, it's tiny. It has a total of 18 monsters, 2 of which are high rank only. And, like, yeah, it's a very small game. There's not much reason that I would recommend Try over 3U. 3U, like, it's not a full replacement like, say, GU over Gen. Because Try does still have some stuff that's unique to it. But, like, I can't think of any reason that I would recommend Try over 3U. Very nearly everything from Try is still there in 3U, and 3U just has so much more to offer. And Outlander, when it comes to third-gen games being extremely easy, you're probably thinking of Portable Third. Try, I would say, is probably actually the hardest of them in terms of just general gameplay. That's mainly because some things had yet to be refined in Try. And then there's also the fact that Try, if you're trying to solo the online, all of the multiplayer quests in that game are scaled for 4 players. It is the only Monster Hunter game that I am aware of where that is true, that the hub quests are scaled for 4 players instead of 2 or number of players present. The Portable Third's easy, because Portable Third has some of the cleanest hitboxes in the entire franchise. I mean, if you're just going to do the village quests, then yeah, Try is fine. Just be aware it's a very small game. Especially if you're only doing village quests. But hey, Try is the only game where dark areas are actually dark and the torch has a use other than just make Bunahabras go away. I need to actually change my weapon for this monkey. I will say that playing Switch Axe, going back to Try after having played Portable Third even, feels so wrong. As in Try, if you mash, I guess on the Wii it would be the X button. If you mash the X button to do your standard combo in Axe mode, you will end up going into wild swing following the upswing. Unless you wait for just a brief moment. And then also the side hops that Switch Axe gets are wrong in try. Like, nowadays, our side hops, like, you go straight to the side. Like, I'll do one in just a moment here. Look at that. It's a side hop. I hopped to the side. In try, the side hop is more like, imagine that as I'm holding my sword out, the tip of it is at the center point of a circle. So yeah, center point of a circle, right at the tip of the sword. In try, my side hop would send me around the circumference of that circle. So instead of hopping straight to the side, you hop a tiny arc of a circle, which ends up not taking you quite as far as you otherwise would. And it also turns your camera a little, and it's just weird and feels wrong. And Try is the only game that I can recall where side hops have done that. One thing I can say, if you're only playing the village quests in Try, you're missing part of its vibe. Because Locklack actually is a great online hub. It's got a lot going to it. It feels like a living city. It's got different areas with different NPCs. They've got like the vendors in a in like a vendor's alley type thing, a little marketplace. It's got the blacksmith off to its own side. It's got the housing district where you get differently sized houses based on your hunter rank. It's a neat city. Locklack is good. They should bring it back at some point. But and then there's also the fact that once you hit high rank, every quest has a devil joke. Every quest. Every quest! Wire bug. Here's the wire bug. Just part of the Try vibe is having Devil Joe be on every quest. Starting long before you're able to even think about actually standing against it. Especially when you barely even know what a Devil Joe is, because it's Monster Hunter Try and it did not exist prior to that game. Why is Furious Rajan easier to fight than Standard Rajan? second too late on that Mulberry. Thinking back to Try Online, it was very silly. Very, very silly. In Japan, Monster Hunter Try was the first Monster Hunter game, at least I'm pretty sure it was, that let you have more than 4 players per lobby. I think it went up to 12, and there were tables enough for all 12 players to be able to eat at the same time. Of course, quests were still limited to 4 players, but you could have a 12-player lobby. In exchange, Monster Hunter Try cost money to play online in Japan. It was, I forget how many Wii points it was per month. It was either 100 or 500, maybe 200, something like that. But yeah, it had a subscription to play Monster Hunter Try Online in Japan. Here in the US, well, actually, anywhere outside Japan, no such requirement existed. And instead, we just got to, wow, this is another very Frontier armor set. And yet again, the hair is part of the hat. Excuse me. Now, here in the US, we only had 4-player lobbies. We did not have to pay for them. It was free. But we had 4-player lobbies for one specific reason. That reason being Wii Speak support. The Nintendo proprietary microphone that they made for the Wii, originally for Animal Crossing City Folk. And it's a thing that you basically just stick on top of your sensor bar, and it's meant to be a whole room mic. Its quality is not great, but it exists. It's there. Monster Hunter Try supported it. But because it supported it, the amount of data that needed to be transferred between players was increased, which meant that they could not do the 12-player lobbies anymore. It was dropped down to 4 players. And you think, hey, that's fine. It means that I can actually voice chat with people, and it's the first Monster Hunter game with a built-in voice chat solution. That's great. Is it, though? No. You haven't heard about the other thing that happened when that finger on the monkey's paw curled. Monster Hunter Try's voice support, voice chat thing. It existed, yes. But in order to voice chat with someone, you both needed to have a Wii Speak. You could not voice chat with someone who did not themselves have the Wii Speak microphone plugged in. And you think, okay, that's fine. I mean, there's still some people you can voice chat with, right? You can go in a lobby and maybe someone will have it and you can voice chat. No! No, you cannot! Because you can only voice chat with people who are on your friends list. You have to be mutual friends on the Wii system level and both have a Wii Speak microphone in order to use voice chat at all. And that is what we got downgraded from 12-player lobbies for. I think I voice chatted with a total of 2 other players during my entire time playing that game. But I mean, hey, at least we didn't have to pay for our online. I think I'll take free online over 12-player lobbies. Even if I'm missing out on the ability to voice chat that they ostensibly added. The biggest vibe of all for Monster Hunter Tries Online, Jen Moran. Jen Moran was in. Jen Moran was not always there. It was an event quest that would rotate in sometimes. And when it did, it was a big event, both lore-wise and game-wise, because, hey, it's a big monster that's an interesting, unique hunt. You go on the thing, you gather resources off its back while also fighting it. It's really cool. And, like, in-universe, Jen Moran showing up starts the Moran Festival because all the hunters in-universe are excited that they're going to be able to go and get valuable materials off this thing's back. And sure enough, that's exactly what you can do. It's symbol of prosperity for Lochlac whenever it shows up. And it shows up with a sandstorm every time, and the sandstorm actually is present in Lochlac. Like, there's sand in the air, etc. And you can go fight Jen Moran, but only for a limited time, because he's not always here. And, like, Jen Moran also had good gear for that game. It had to, for it to be unavailable most of the time, but then come around sometimes and be a giant elder dragon that you cannot always fight. It had to have good gear, and it did. So whenever Jen showed up, like, the event quests in that game were like they did in World. They cycled based on a calendar that Capcom had. You couldn't make certain event quests available. It was what Capcom decided was available to you at the time, was what was available to you at the time. And whenever the Jen Moran week showed up, people would be going into lobbies to hunt Jen, and it was a good old time, especially because Jen was one of the monsters that, like, sure, technically it's possible to beat it alone, but unless you super optimize your kit and you're playing, you're not going to beat it alone. It had too much HP. Like, you needed to be running heroics, and even then have great gear and perform well. because it just had too much HP for a solo hunter to reliably deal with. So it was a multiplayer event every time it showed up. Outlander, Iceborne is no longer rotating events. As soon as Monster Hunter Rise came out, they patched Iceborne and made it so that all events were available at all times. What it does rotate is the seasonal festivals, which it goes 1 week, no festival, 1 week, seasonal festival, 1 week, no festival, 1 week, seasonal festival. And it cycles through all of them over the course of 8 weeks. But event quests in Iceborne, they're just all available all the time now. Actually, I guess Alatreon still cycles, whether you've got the fire one or the ice one. But I think that's about it. And also, Alatreon cycles every day, so... Monster Hunter Rise Online is where most of the game's no longer, well, most of the game's unique vibes live. Because, like, Ryu has absorbed the vast majority of Try's offline vibes. Because, like, it's still got the same Moga Village stuff. Only difference is that the dark caves are no longer quite so dark. Whereas, yeah, Locklack is its whole thing, its whole own thing that is unique to Try, and yeah. It also comes with its own vibe check. The HR8 Bear-Off. You could post, or you could set your lobby to have any target in the world, and you would still get a hunter coming in saying, "Can you help HR8 Bear-Off?" Or sometimes they wouldn't even type a thing, and they'd just come into your Alatreon lobby and post an HR8 Bear-Off and be like, expecting players to join and help. And it's like, no sir, we are in an Alatreon lobby. That is not Alatreon. Also, the HR8 Bear-Off was the quest to get into 2-star online. Because in Try, your hunter rank was done by experience right from the get-go, and urgence unlocked once you reached certain levels. Like, I think Alatreon was HR 52 or 58 or something. Outlander, what you have to remember about that Bear-Off is it was always scaled for 4 players. Your weapons that were available to you at that point, like the best thing you could really hope to get, was either Royal Ludroth or Kurapeko weapons. And then there's the whole, oh, you're fighting a Baroth in Tri. People, A, didn't have experience with Brute Wyverns, because Baroth was the very first. And B, Baroth, I feel like it was a little bit more into the whole charging thing back then, but I don't quite recall. But suffice it to say, it was difficult to take on solo if you were doing the HR8 Baroth in Tri. Like, even if you went in with C-Deus weapons from playing offline, it could still be rough, especially because also you don't get your Shakalakas when... Oh, this is Zhong's first, huh? Yeah, you don't get your Shakalakas when you're playing online. You don't get any of them. Well, I guess you only had Chacha to begin with, but there's no additional targets. The Baroth is going for you and only you. And so it was very rough for new players to try and beat that Baroth on their own. Yeah, I remember when I fought that Baroth solo. Like, I had, it was my first Monster Hunter game, so I wanted to make sure before I went online that I had played through the story and gotten good gear to start with so that I wouldn't hold my group back. So what I had was a full C-Deus set with a C-Deus weapon. And I went in to fight that Baroth, which was scaled for 4 people and had no additional targets besides me. I was probably a more timid player back then, that's for sure. But over the course of the quest, I ended up very nearly running entirely out of healing options. Very, very nearly timing out. And, like, that was rough. And I was using gear from late low rank, not early low rank. And at that point, it was like, yeah, I am not soloing Urgents anymore. It took a good while to find a group capable of doing Alatreon back then, too. Alatreon was not easy in that game. I mean, it's no Iceborne Alatreon, that's for sure. But compared to portable third Alatreon or even GU Alatreon, it was rough. Especially if you wanted to get yourself a Sky Piercer. Like, Slime didn't exist back then. Imagine fighting a 3U Alatreon without any blast going on. Meanwhile, portable third Alatreon must have been drinking because he falls over all the time. You flinch his legs, he drops. Later, Wolfkinson. tired of this cat throwing me in the air. Max potion was in my mouth. We heard the heal sound. Saw the sparklies. Thought we were friends, Rajan. I thought we were friends. Thanks, Magnamalo. Quest sure would be easier if I was the type of coward to use the fence switch. But no, fence switch is for cowards. Whoops. If I still had first aid med pluses, I would have survived there. Come on. Yeah! I always reach for the first aid med plus first. If I had reached for something that I actually had, I would have had health. Welcome back, Outlander. That's still part of the amount of punishment. There we go. One of those flashes had to work. And now with only this cat here, this quest will be made much easier. believe I didn't get a Hellfire knockdown yet. That has a range of it. Get over here, you stupid cat. My cat wants to play with you. Nice. Since I'm 2 cards down already. Not gonna have time to pick up all this trash off the ground, but I don't need it. And I now have every checkmark that is gettable in this game at the moment. Nice glare eye. Whoops, forgot to see what that quest gave. Outlander, it is theoretically possible to say that streaming is legal again. Because, like, sure, my last 2 streams got cut short early, but the 2 before that weren't. But the 2 before those were. So, all we can say right now... titles. Yeah, all we can say now is that streaming was legal today. We need more evidence to determine whether it is going to remain legal. Let's see what those titles we got today are. So I got... I guess that one wasn't today. Oh, I've done... Oh, right. Of course I've done 50 Seregios. I used them to grind up my my affliction level at one point. Okay, so new titles are Highest Reign Victor VIP Extreme Annoyed, Thundering, Hellfire, Rancor, Ghost, Runner, Enigmatic. Or wait, no, these are from a different quest. This is the Hazard Flaming Espinas. Runner, Enigmatic, Cordial, Double-Headed, Twin Slayer, Diabolical Warriors. I don't recall which quest that is. But Punishment, Magnificent, Entertainer, Carnage, Outcome, Flare, Legitimate, All You Can, Friction. Tempura is an interesting one to get from a battle against Diabolical Warriors. Notori. Oh, this is from the Embodiment of Destruction. I guess that would be a Furious Rajang, maybe? I don't know. Maybe the Buff Monkey? I really don't know. Notorious Grand Slam, Embodiment, Bursting, and Buff. Well, I guess Buff would make sense for the Buff Monkey. Wow. That, let's just confirm. Yep, I got check marks on all of these. Yep, I got check marks on all of those. Yep, got those. Uh-huh. So event quests, we are done. Training quests, I've done all those. Follower support surveys, got them all. Follower quests, got them all. Got all the high rank stuff, including expedition tours. Got all the low rank stuff, including expedition tours. Rampage quests don't get check marks. Got all the master rank stuff, including expedition tours. And got all the anomaly quests. I am done getting check marks until next week. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give streaming this game a rest until they are done adding event quests, and then I will come back to it and get the last check marks. And by that point, I will have probably just either grinded or cheated or both to get my anomaly research level up to 300 so that I can legitimately do all of the special investigations to get all of the marks that I can get in the Hunter's Notes. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So, what's going to happen now is I'm going to play The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages starting on Tuesday. See you then, friends.